Hi, my name is Patty D. Priest, and I work for the Kentucky Academy of Technology Education at the College of Education and Human Services at Murray State University. Today, we're going to take a look at how to use it in the classroom. One of the first things I want to show you is how you can integrate Keep with Google Docs. If I wanted to, I can send a list that I have. I can click on the three dots, and I can say copy it to Google Docs. When I do this, it goes ahead and it creates a new doc, and I can click here now to open the doc, and you'll see it's titled with the name of my list, and the entire list is here, including the things that I have already completed, and it brought in the image as well. So this is a really cool thing. This is something that was just added within the last week or so. Maybe it's been a little longer, but it seems like it's been just the last week or so. So it's something that you can do with Google Keep. It also works the opposite way. When I'm in Google Docs, I can go to Tools, and I can now go to Keep Notepad. And that opens my Google Keep notepads, and you'll see all of my notes will be listed here. It's still thinking. But anyway, while it's thinking, you'll notice that each one of them is here, and so I can scroll through. If I wanted to, I could just drag one in. I could come down to wherever I want to drop it, and let's do that again. And when I drop it, it should drop it into there. There we go. That was my grocery list, and so it brought in kind of like it did when I took it from Google Keep to Docs. It brought in the image, and it went ahead and added all the items from my grocery list, which are all crossed out because I just went grocery shopping. So both of those things are really, really cool that you can do. Another thing you can do while you're here is if you use labels, you can search right here, and I can go and say, let's say I want everything from Kate, and now I only have the Kate items here, and so I have now limited the actual notes that I'm seeing to just the ones that I need. If I'm doing comments for my students, I could create some comment lists like these, and now I can go into a student document. This isn't the best, but I can say, well, maybe I need to make a comment here. Click on the little comment icon, say I want to use this comment, copy it, come down here and paste it, and click comment. We, as teachers, find that a lot of these tasks are repetitive, and this is a great way to take comments that you use a lot, put them into lists, break them down by the types of comments they are, and be able to pull them very easily into a document that you are grading for a student. So let's go back to Keep and look at the next thing. You'll notice that some of my Keep lists have pictures at the top. You'll notice that when I come down to the bottom here, even with the three dots, I don't have an add a picture or image. But if I was to open this up, I do. And so I can click here in the add an image, and then it's going to go, and I can go into my pictures, and let's say that I want to put this book in here. So I can click on here, click open, and it's going to pull the book in and put it at the top of my image. So again, to add the image, you have to have the actual note open, and then the actual add an image appears, and you can go from there. I'll click done, and I now have an image on that. Another thing is time management. So in your notes, you can come here to the reminders, and I can pick a date and a time for it to remind me. So if I want to look at this maybe for the weekend, I'm going to be doing these things, I can come here and say, okay, it's the weekend. Tomorrow at about, let's say 8 o'clock in the morning, I don't want to get up too early, I want this list to pop up, and I want it to remind me that I need to do these things. I click Save. The neat thing about this is it also works with Google Calendar, and so that calendar is actually going to pop that message, that reminder up for me. And if I have Google Calendar on my phone, it's also going to pop up there, as well as Google Keep. Keep works on your phone as well. Okay, another time management thing is within a list, I can reorder things. So if I'm looking at this list and I'm saying, okay, this dripping faucet is really annoying me, it needs to go first. And then I can say, well, the kitchen light will be kind of easy. It's already put in. I just need to finish, putting the doing whatever to it. Let's finish that up. Moving the sewing machine might not be too hard, and so on and so forth. Some of these other things, well, they're going to be a little bit harder. Maybe I'll do them later in the day, and so on and so forth. So you can put things in order that you really need to do them in, reorder them according to what the day is and what the time is when you're doing it, and so on. You can also add the check boxes by clicking on the little 3 dots. I can uncheck all, which if I had things that were already completed, like my income tax, it was below and it was checked, so that unchecked it. Now I can also hide the check boxes from here, and if I didn't have check boxes, this is where I would go to add them. All right, another thing that we can do is there is a Chrome extension, and so I'm going to open up a new tab, and we can go to a website. So let's say it's Murray State, and it's the Kate page. Up here, my extensions, I have the little Google Keep extension, and so I can click on this, and it's going to add this as a note in Google Keep. Notice it's saving here. I can add a label to it, and so I can add the Kate label to it. And when it is done saving it, it should appear. It says it's saved. If I go back to Google Keep and I close this one, go down to the bottom, we shall look, and there it is. Go here for the information on Kate. Now, if I wanted to pin this to the top, I would click on the little pin note, and it will move that then to the top. One of the things I should consider doing for organizational reasons is instead of just color coding these to make them look pretty, which I've done, I should say, well, all my personal stuff, instead of it being this bright green, I want it to be this aqua color, okay? But then that makes this the wrong color, so maybe for Kate, maybe I want this to be blue. And so everything that says Kate, I'm going to come in and say blue. Now this is also a personal thing, so I'm going to make it this aqua green. And the Willow Pond stuff, let's say it's going to be, well, let's go with red. Come over here, I have to do the Willow Pond. This makes it a whole lot easier once I get used to looking at colors to find things that go together. But I can also sort them by my labels. If I come over here, again, if I want to see my personal things, I just click on it and it pulls those together. Okay? All right, we talked about reminders, but another thing that we can do, I'm going to bring up all my notes, is I can put in not only in a reminder that is going to remind me on a day and a time, but I can pick a place. For example, if I'm doing my grocery list, I can come over here and I can do a reminder, and I can pick a place, and I can say, let's say Walmart, and pick the one in Murray. Now when I walk into Walmart, or I get to there, it's going to actually pop this list up for me to use. How convenient is that? You can also do this for reminders of things you need to do when you get to school. You can have students use them as reminders of things that are due, or they need to take care of. Maybe what they can create one so that when they get to school, it reminds them to print something out because they don't have a printer at home. So there's all kinds of reminders you can use location for. Okay, spelling lists you can create every week. Your students can create spelling lists in Google Keep. They can not only add the spelling words, but they could add a definition. They could even put in a website if they needed to, and that kind of thing. One of the other things you can do is you can have your students, if they're working in groups on projects, they can create a Google Keep list, and they can share it with their other partners in their project. And they may even make 2 or 3 different lists. And so maybe the one list is all the things that need to be done. And if they're dividing up into their group into who's going to do what, then there may be a list for Patty, and another list for Jenny, and another list for Jennifer, and another list for Cooper. And it will have all the things that they need to be taken care of. But that list may be shared with everybody in the group. It also may have some notes, they may put links to research sites that they have found, and it may also have reminders of due dates to keep them on track. Again, when you're doing research, remember that anytime you find a website that you want to add to research, you can just, click on this extension to add it. Remember, you go to the what I call the rainbow waffle, which takes you to the web store, and then you can just do a search for Google Keep. And it is an extension. Extensions live up here in the upper right hand corner. I've already added it, so it's not there. If you have not added it, remember to click the blue and give it permission to actually add that. I watched a video the other day of a teacher who shares a list with his one-on-one, him and the student, of the can-dos and must-dos that the student must take care of. And the teacher can then flip between lists in order to see what the student is working on, what he's crossed out and what is done, he or she, and if they're on track for what they need to have completed for the week. So I think that's a great way. It helps the students with their time management, but it also helps the teacher kind of keep track. And maybe he's personalized. He may have put some things in the list to differentiate stuff between students. And nobody's going to really know that this student is not doing exactly the same thing as another student. One of the neat things you can do on your phone is you can do a voice note. And so on your phone, where you go up here, instead of just seeing these three things, you're going to see a fourth thing, which is a little microphone. And then you can click on that and actually record your note, and it will listen to what you're saying and actually record that. All right, so those are quite a few things that you can do with Keep in your classroom. I'm sure there's a whole lot more. If you come up with any ideas, feel free to email me those ideas, and maybe we'll have to create another Google Keep video on how to use Keep in the classroom. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.